After roughly 7 hours inside the Doha airport, most of it spent in a long, grinding line trying to finalize our India visa, we finally reached the point where we could board our next flight. This one was on Indigo, an airline used mostly for domestic flights within India. Instead of walking down a jet bridge, we were loaded onto a bus that took us out across the tarmac to the aircraft. Our seats were all the way in the back, and the comfort level was nowhere near what we had just experienced on Qatar Airways. By this point, we simply accepted the reality of a 4-hour ride to New Delhi. The only thing keeping us going was the hope that once we landed, we could get into the Eros Hotel early, well before the usual check-in time.
Welcome to Indigo.
We're in the very last seat. We planned to spend about 3 days in New Delhi on our own before meeting up with the Gate 1 tour group, and we wanted to use that time to explore parts of the city that wouldn't be included in the official itinerary. But after close to 48 hours with essentially zero sleep, we were operating on nothing but postulates. Physical energy had checked out a long time ago. At that point, we were moving purely because the situation required it, hoping that the next step led to a bed, a shower, and a chance to reset before stepping into one of the busiest cities on earth.
You know, sir, we say if you want to drive in India, you need good 3Gs. Good luck, good brake, and good horn.
The first thing that hit us as we landed, cleared customs, found our drivers, and started the ride toward the Eros Hotel was the smell. It was like standing behind a truck and breathing in the exhaust. Strong, constant, and impossible to ignore. It became immediately clear that this wasn't something we were going to get away from, at least not while we were in New Delhi. More on that later. Okay, well, we are getting our feet on the ground here, quite literally, in New Delhi. One of those rooms up here is ours, and we are probably going to go. We're a little off. Our time is bad right now because of some mistakes we made. So what we're going to do is probably venture out of this place on our own, and because it is a confusing bedlam out there. It's crazy. So, but we'll learn our way around. So we're just kind of venturing out on our own tonight. We're going to hang pretty close by and get our India legs. All right, let's head over this way. Some big electronic place. They sell a lot of electronics in here. Probably very cheap, yeah. This is what this guy was talking about, definitely. And photography, color photo. Wow. Look at all the mobile repair stuff over there. So I'll try to describe this to you here. This is new to us, of course. But we left the hotel and we're in a little area here is pretty dedicated to electronics. As you walk around and sniff the air has a smoke flavor to it, constant, no way out of it. Because the pollution is so high here in New Delhi that and this is apparently a bad time of the year from November to January. There's a lot of wood burning. Of course, it's the cars. Not really a very good way of doing things. Hey, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's definitely a smoky place. Tons and tons of people. Everybody kind of wanting something. And that sort of thing. So her hand's out, she wants money. It's very much a different place. We've had kids coming up, they put their hands out and they want something, anything. They'll follow you around until you give them a very firm no. And even that, I'm sure, probably doesn't always work. I mean, that's the way these people survive. And see people like him and me who look like we're Americanos and they assume we got money. Compared to them, we do. Pretty wild. If you look up, you just see the wires heading across the street here. You know, and Lord knows what they're powering. I see one there that stops, so it's probably an old one got abandoned somehow. Pretty wild. And we're getting ready to cross the street here to head back to another area. So this is kind of what we have here. Getting ready to do it. All right, so we successfully crossed the road. It did not die. And now we're heading over to some sort of I don't know if it's a food area or not. I don't think we're going to buy anything in there. I'm not sure, but we're going to look around. We're just kind of getting our India legs in right now to get ourselves feeling more comfortable. Prepaid auto service. Then make a left turn here. Now this is the place he was talking about. So we were looking up a little bit about the signature scam. So what they do is they have fake signatures, and what they get you to do that little kid right there, no, that's the wrong guy. Very persuasive, and just a heavy no. And then what they do is they'll try to get you for donations, or they'll pickpocket you. So these are standard Asian scams that are, and it's constant. People walking up to you to do something. So a big food area here. It's near the metro. And Kim and I, the concierge says that he said he wouldn't send us here if the food wasn't safe. But then we go, yeah, I don't know. Like you can buy all these iced drinks, and of course they're all going to be ice out of the municipal system, which we know is not something we can really eat or drink. So Kim and I are just going to err on the side of caution and just walk around and enjoy looking at it, but probably not really buy anything here to eat. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, what we ended up doing, we went into the food court. We looked hard at Domino's, but and they had chicken and things like that, and we're probably being very paranoid. But I think I'm going to err on the side of paranoid here. So we decided we're just going to wander around. We're getting our India legs here at night, and then what we're going to do is probably wander back around and go back to the hotel and probably have ourselves something to eat over there. That's what I'm thinking. And we're planning on retiring tonight at a good time. Right now it's a little bit after 6 local. We're probably going to try to get to bed tonight around 9 and get a really good night's sleep. So we're kind of working our way back to Eros right now along the main drag, and just discussing the rules of the road here, what it is, what the agreements are among the people, driving especially. Oh my God, they don't hold lanes here. They do not believe in lanes. Even though there are lanes marked, no one uses them. They just go wherever the hell. Standard practice, and yet they don't have that many accidents. So somehow there are rules. It's just that Kim and I don't know what they are. Maybe I'll learn them. I'm not going to try to drive in this place, but yeah, the society is fascinating. Just look at this, and we're not really in a real poor area. Specifically, we're near the Eros, and these are malls here, shopping, electronics. Everybody has a place to go, and they're heading there with intention. And of course, you hear the horns. The horns are just standard fare, and they don't generally mean "I love you." they just mean sometimes get the hell out of the way. Sometimes they mean I'm here, and whoever is being beeped at interprets it correctly. The communication works among these people. Generally, the people are friendly. There's a lot of aggressiveness, but it's gentle. Nothing bad. Everybody wants to get a little bit of attention. But there are rules. You got to go walk through the right hole. Got to, just do this or that. So you figure it out as you move along. But people tend to have places to go. They're talking on the phone. They got this. It's just amazing. Just constant interaction among the people. And yet you look at the overall product of it, you go, wow. A lot to wrap your head around here. So, first night out, about an hour and a half. We survived. We now recognize, we got a little bit, it's kind of the way I handled it when I first went to Europe by myself in a backpack. I would venture out and get my confidence. But here, this place is so much more foreign than anything in Europe. Everything in Europe is American compared to this place. So after the bedlam of outside, we are returning here to Eros and having a nice little rum and coke, which is not something I have had in several years, but it's really good. It's air conditioned, nice and cool. Don't have any beggars coming up to ask you to sign petitions. Pretty wild out there. Wow. Kim and I were talking about the young man that was trying to, he's about 12 years old, to get the petition. And I said no. And he has a sweet disposition and asked again gently, no. And finally, I think it's the third time I raised my level of no, like pretty hefty no. And he just turns around and walks away. And Kim and I were talking about it. That probably didn't dissuade him at all. Feelings not hurt. On to his next guy. And if you took a guy like that and brought him into the United States, put him into a classroom and got him where he could speak English perfectly without an accent, that kid would take over the frickin' school because his confront is so high and no back off. It's pretty cool. So New Delhi is number 2 in terms of population in India. It's about a 19 to 21 million population. Interesting on the smell. I was quite appalled by it when I first got here, but I am now already beginning to adjust to it as just a background smell, background smoky smell. So there it is. I mean, apparently you can see how people over a period of just a few days will begin to accept it as just the background, and probably after another, well, you live here, you probably don't even notice it. It's that simple. So we have come into an Indian restaurant here, and there's going to be a guy there doing some playing, and we got this is our menu. I think Kim and I are probably split, and we'll get something that's relatively light, so we don't have anything that's going to conflict with our sleeping tonight, right? So we've decided we're going to get this right here. This is all curry. And this would be a chicken, apparently some special slow cooking they do. We'll see how good it is. Kim and I are going to split that. Should be interesting. And before we dive in, this is the way they've got everything mocked up here. And of course we're still waiting for our musician. So apparently, we don't know what this is, but it's very salty. And then these are some sort of an Indian, we're going to call them potato chip, but we know it's not potato. Very vegetarian oriented here in India. In fact, evidently big bellies are becoming a real problem because these guys are operating almost on old Western standards now, where low fat, low meat is considered healthy, and yet in reality it creates a lot of health issues, and a lot of guys are trying to break it. Some doctors are trying to get them out of that. But anyway, this is still really good. They are setting up, I guess. She put those 2 things out there, right there. I don't know what that is. We'll find out.
संतोष पादियों माथे पे बल नहीं था.
So this is Thursday morning, first full day here, and you'll see the pollution is pretty bad. It's starting to clear it off. When we got up this morning, it was worse, and now about an hour in, it's starting to burn off a little bit. So, But this is the pollution here in New Delhi, India. We are getting ready to go out. We've hired a car to basically take us around to several places we want to go. And we'll have him for however many hours we want. So it should work out well. This is our guide John, who we're hanging with today. And this is the Lotus Temple. That is beautiful. Now they have services inside. And what religion is this?
Baha'i. Same as Chennai.
Yes. We have Baha'i in America.
Temple,
In
yeah.
America, we have some.
Yeah.
Not many. Not many. That is beautiful. Look at the grounds.
Winter time very good. Summer time very hot.
There's another great viewpoint of the Lotus Temple. The pollution is actually clearing up today a little bit. Quite a bit of solar over here, and of course the pollution is starting to ease up. And it's interesting, I'm beginning to be able to tolerate it way more now than I was yesterday. So I see you can really get used to this, to the smell. You can really get used to it. This is a relatively new building, maybe 25, 30 years old. So this is not ancient. And you can kind of tell because the architecture is quite unique. Reminds me a little bit of the Sydney Opera Museum or Opera Hall. Yeah.
Hindu.
So what was that again? You were saying? Yeah.
This is sari. Hindu lady. And the brown one, the Buddhist.
Buddhist.
Yeah.
And they all come to the same place? Or they're just probably tourists like us?
No, same place and a lot of people. Indian people, tourist people, about.
Understood. People of all faiths are here coming in too. But the entire inside of this temple is closed temporarily. I guess they're doing some work in there now. Okay, we are here at this temple, and this is on John's suggestion. That was not on my list, and we just come up the hill.
Krishna God temple.
And now, what is this? Hare Krishna?
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna temple.
Hare Krishna.
Not temple.
And how old is this?
Long, very old temple.
This
Maybe
look.
30, 35 years old.
How many?
35 years old.
35?
Years
Oh,
old.
not old. Not old. Okay. All right, here we are. We got our thing. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This volume.
Okay, good. Look good. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah. All right. Here you go. Let me get ready to go. This building is not really that old. There's Kim in the women's line, and of course I'm going through the dudes line, and she's all dudered up there. I remember the Hare Krishna guys that were in Gainesville when I was in college, and here's the original, well, not the original, but the temple in New Delhi where they celebrate the religion. It's very cool. When I took her shoes off, and we put them over here in the shoe stall too, washed our hands, and now we're going to head into the temple. But you do it when you're barefoot, which goes against my grain. But you do what you do when in Rome. We found that removing shoes was standard practice before entering almost any place of worship in India. You leave them outside, step in barefoot, and it immediately shifts the feel of the place. It is a simple gesture of respect that everyone follows. Inside the Hare Krishna temple, we walked quietly through the interior, taking in the color, music, and steady movement of worshipers. We didn't take video out of respect for the people there, but the atmosphere made an impression. The devotion was unmistakable, and the temple's energy had a warmth and sincerity that stayed with us. So she's going to get her shoes back on again, and I am as well. Look at this down here, pretty cool. Some neat, beautiful sounds, some Hare Krishna sounds, but all their statues and their things here are so colorful and alive. There's this amazing life and elan vital about these various statues and idols that they've got here. It's quite impressive. When you get right down to it, like Vedic Expo, many of the beginnings of my own religion came from the Vedic hymns. It's really, really cool to see this. There's probably a lot of alignment with some of my own core concepts and philosophies, you know. These are all hand-done carpets, if you can believe that.
20 people or 10 people working in a row.
This is called a loom? A
This
loom?
is loom.
L-O-O-M by an American,
This
okay.
is hand loom. This is the back of the carpet here.
Yes.
So each knot of this carpet is individually knotted. If we pull the thread from the reverse side, only one thread comes out. It doesn't affect the other area. When you're talking about those loom carpets or those shuttle carpets, if you pull the thread from those carpets, so the whole row comes out. But here, each knot is individually knotted. But what determines the quality of a carpet is the knots. The more knots, more better they are, more finer the carpet is. When we work on these designs, it's not the weaver who has design in mind. They always have a program on a paper. Have to go through this. It's a coded language within the family. These are the colors and the knots. So each line of this paper stands for the one row of knots from here to the center. So this is not only one paper. If the carpet is like 1 meter, 2 meter, they need to have 300 to 400 pages like this. Yeah. So this paper has to be in front of the loom. They have to follow this paper here. And these are the tools here. 3 tools. Same tools what they used to have them before here. Once the row is done, we have to beat it down with this here.
Yes, of course.
To make it more compact.
Exactly.
More dense. And the scissor, which is more flat on the front, up on the back. So we trim them time to time on the loom, but this is the front side.
That's the front, okay.
Yeah, because we have to trim them time to time on the loom, but once the carpet is complete, then we have to wash them. We wash them twice, before the trimming and after the trimming, to make sure that color should not run, the carpet should not get shrinked too. We set up the base of the carpet here, which stands for the 2 layers, one from the back and one from the front. Now when we do the knot, see, we choose the color from here, from the paper.
From the paper.
And see, there are 2 different kinds of knots, single knot and the double knot. You know, the double knot, it sounds stronger, but it's not. The single is stronger because it takes more material, more knots, and the carpet is thinner. It's always thinner the carpet, better the carpet, it has more life to it. Now how we do the knot here, this is one thread from the back and the pilot thread from the front, and we twist the material between these 2 threads. First around the back strip, then around the front here, we put it down. We don't tie the knot. You know, we push it down with the knife here. At the same time, we cut it with this.
Okay.
So each knot of this carpet is individually knotted, one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. There's no connection in between here.
What we're doing, we're buying a Persian carpet here, which we did not plan on buying, but Kim wants it and I want it too. It's going to hang on the wall. The knot density is extremely high, over 400,000 knots in this small piece, which gives it its fine detail and sheen. It is considered a premium Kashmiri silk carpet, and its value typically falls in the $3,000 to $6,000 range. We got it in New Delhi for much, much less than that. We'll be hanging it on our wall. Thank you very much. Thank you. Several people told us about women they've seen for years, always appearing with a new infant. The babies change, but the pitch is the same. It is a practiced scam. We spent some money on a Persian carpet and a little see no evil, do no evil, spend
Just
no
do no
evil,
evil.
don't get ripped off no evil. But I think we did well. That little monkey thing was pretty cool, and and you know, for 130 bucks, well, it may be overshot. Now I think we did okay on the Persian carpet. I did some research, and it is genuine, very high thread count or knot count, silk, and it looks like we may have gotten a good deal on that. Probably a really good deal. And it was genuine, so we'll see. And it's going to be pretty, and it will be a remembrance for this trip here. Interesting here, I call it a water point. I don't think it's operational. It's something I wouldn't try, but put your money in and you take your chances here. So this is, it's called the Shish Kambad. This is in Lodi Gardens. It's about 500-600 years old. and it was supposed to be a tomb of some rather substantial dude and family, I guess. Lodi Gardens sits right in the middle of New Delhi, but it feels like a different world the moment you step inside. The noise of the city drops away, and you find yourself in a wide 90-acre park filled with lawns, trees, and a collection of stone monuments that go back to the 15th and 16th centuries. You can walk inside and see the old carved ceilings and the remnants of the plasterwork that once covered the interiors. The British landscaped all of this in 1936, creating a formal garden around the older ruins. After independence, it became Lodi Gardens, and today it is one of the favorite spots for locals. All over the areas we visited, we saw dogs stretched out on the streets, completely relaxed and unbothered. They seem to have their own rhythm, and the city just moves around them. Safdarjung Tomb sits on the edge of New Delhi, a quieter Mughal monument built in 1754 for Safdarjung, the empire's powerful prime minister during its final decline. We're now on about a 10-foot high platform upon which this whole thing was built. Little insight, these are called jolly panels with the little perforations. These are original, but over here on this side, they're solid, and that was because they were replaced because these things, remember, are 270 years old. And that's many, many years, and so areas that had to replace, they didn't, I guess, have, the fortitude to build the jolly panels, so they don't have them. So that explains the difference between those that are jolly panels and those that are solid. So this is what we call, or what is called, a cenotaph. It's a symbolic grave, a symbolic tomb, but it's not the real one. The real one is below, down in a room. It's very plain. This one here above is for everybody to look at. This may be, I'm not saying it is, but this may be where they kept the water that actually flowed down to handle all that. Yeah, I don't see outlets on it, but I'm sure it's down there somewhere. But yeah, again, that's just speculation. But they actually would pump the water up here with bullock or camels, pulling a wheel, Persian wheel, to pump it up. So I will tell you that I would no more try to drive in this traffic myself in the left lane using a clutch like John's doing than I would try to do open heart surgery. So this is kind of an old well system they had to store water during the times when it was a little bit drier, and I guess it would be a way of then storing water, I guess, and getting it into the city. That's what I understand. Several steps down, which we're not going to take today. This thing was built somewhere between 1350 and 1500. Stepwells in India were deep, stone-lined reservoirs built to survive long dry seasons. They combined engineering and architecture, creating dramatic stairways that led down to the water. Many served as gathering places, cool refuges, and community lifelines long before modern wells or pumps existed. This is a view out our window. It's now about 5:30 local. The pollution level is much less. You can see the temples and various things in the distance. Temperature is very nice. It's probably 72, 74 degrees, a very slight breeze. Kim has gone inside there to grab a wine, and looks like she's got it. I see her walking back out again. So she'll join me, and I'm going to go ahead and light up my cigar. First cigar in India. I think with the level of pollution in the air, nobody is going to complain about a few extra puffs of cigar smoke. Traffic in New Delhi and most big Indian cities feels like pure chaos to an American. Road lines mean nothing, lanes are ignored, and everyone squeezes into any open space, missing each other by inches. It looks wild, but it works, and it becomes a show of its own. One of the first things we noticed at the Kutvi complex was the women sweeping the walkways with these long, ancient-looking brooms moving in wide arcs that seemed unchanged for centuries. It set the tone right away. The grounds are surprisingly well kept, almost park-like, yet the place still feels ancient in every direction. You walk through neat lawns and trimmed paths, then suddenly you're beside broken arches, old stone columns, and weathered walls that look like they've been standing forever. That mix of tidy gardens and raw, untouched ruins gives the whole site a unique feel. This small building is part of the old Quwwat-ul-Islam Mosque in the Qutb complex. It's a simple weathered structure with worn plaster, carved arches, and traces of early stone inlay, showing the first phase of Islamic architecture in Delhi. We parked and walked in through a lively neighborhood on the way to the Hauz Khas complex, and the walk itself was almost as interesting as the site. In India, the path to a place often becomes part of the experience. These round domed pavilions at Hauz Khas are old Tughlaq-era tombs, simple stone pillars, low domes, and open walkways that feel ancient and peaceful.
So many columns holding this thing up. Lord knows what it weighs. Just the way they built these domes with masonry, each course tilted inward a little bit, and then how they built that, I have no idea.
The Hauz Khas tank is a huge medieval reservoir built to supply water to Old Delhi. Today it's a quiet lake surrounded by ruins, giving the whole place a calm, reflective feel. All through India, especially around temples and historic sites, you start running into monkeys that seem to treat these places as their own territory. You quickly learn not to carry loose snacks or hold a water bottle out too far because they will take advantage of that in a heartbeat. What stands out the most is how comfortable they are being around people. They're not pets and they're not tame, but they've lived alongside humans for so long that they know exactly how close they can get without causing trouble. The temples feel ancient on their own, but when you add the monkeys, it gives the whole place a sense of life and continuity, like this is their home first, and we're just passing through.
What Kim and I are noticing in a place like this especially is that we are so unaware of the culture. Here in India, we just ran into a guy that was talking to us, and he was talking about all these tombs and things around New Delhi, of which I think we've already seen some of them, but the names are so foreign to us that when he states them, I would have to see him in writing and go, oh yeah, we were there. We look at this, and there's probably so many points of architecture and archaeology, and that we just don't see it because we're not aware of that sort of thing. A little frustrating, but it's still great to get the grand picture of it and to realize that this thing was built in the 1300s, so we're talking 700-800 years old.
Our first 3 days in India were on our own, and we liked having the freedom to choose where to go. Our driver, John, helped steer us through the noise and chaos, and we appreciated his guidance more than once. By the time those days were over, we were ready to join the group of 17 other travelers with Gate 1 and settle into the second phase of the trip. This turned out to be a closer look at the country and a very fulfilling part of our journey. That is the subject of our next video.